they gonna look at them kind of corny. They gonna look at them kind of corny. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can't let them fool you, because they will fool you. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta pay attention. You gotta know what's going on. Charlotte didn't submit to New York. It's what it was. That's why they ain't got no opportunities. You ever think about it? Charlotte is ever having potential. You can see all these beautiful people down there. That's what's gonna get you. The food, the people. You're gonna say, man, this city could really be something. But everybody did it but them. DC did it. Atlanta did it. Chicago did it. Everybody did it. Detroit definitely did it. So why Charlotte didn't do it? Because Charlotte did not want to submit to nobody. You can't make it without submitting to somebody. You gotta submit to somebody in order to grow and learn and get money. You can't just come up I'm gonna just do my own thing. That's how Charlotte think. I'm gonna just do my own thing, bruh. Okay. I'm telling you from experience, that's not gonna work. It sounds good. Everybody wanna do their own thing. But that ain't how the entertainment work in America. You can't talk about doing your own thing and. That's what Charlotte messed up. So if you wonder, well, why you ain't in Charlotte? Charlotte, that's the first thing black people gonna say. Dang, you in Charlotte, why you would even come up here? I don't even know why. Now do you see why? All that ignorance, all that ratchetness and all that? I'd rather be in a place where I can spread out. I don't really got to deal with nobody. So that's how you can look at New York instead of looking at it like who the people are and whatever, the culture and all that. Look at it like New York. I can spread out and be on my own. I don't got to deal with nobody. But really, I just came up here for opportunities. Basically, that's it. I just came up here for opportunities, man. In the beginning. Then I just got used to living here, just like anybody else. Once you get used to living here, it's home. See, that's what happened to all New York people in New York who come here. First you come here looking for opportunities, and then it becomes home. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it happens. That's how it happened for me. I started working. I can actually say I worked up here. See, if I just came up here and was a bum and didn't work, okay, then you can say, oh, okay, this dude just coming up here and seeing what's going on. Something like that. But I came up here and worked. I had jobs up here, everything. So that's the difference. Some people come up here and see what it is, and they just happy to come up here. It's like they bucket list to come up here to see New York. Oh, I gotta see New York before I die. I never was like that. Because I went to California, I went to Los Angeles, so I really just was influenced by people I live with to just come up here. I came to Brooklyn, I came to Bed-Stuy. That's why I ain't scared of New York. That's why I walk around like in New York like I do. Because Bed-Stuy was my first city. My first community. If you come to New York and go straight to Bed-Stuy, what you think you're going to become? They knew what they was doing. They sent me to Bed-Stuy first. And I ain't know no better. I'm from the South. I ain't know what Bed-Stuy was. Some New York people would say, man, they did him dirty. They sent him to Bed-Stuy? As soon as he came from Charlotte, they sent him to Bed-Stuy, bro? That's messed up. Yep. I came straight to Bed-Stuy. I came straight to Bed-Stuy. You know what I'm saying? I came straight to Bed-Stuy. So I can't, if you could imagine, I can't be scared of New York. Kidding me? When I first came here, I was around all the Bed-Stuy people. Now imagine me years later, over 10 years later, being scared of New York. I was in Bed-Stuy over 10 years ago. So it's done changed since I was there. A little bit. A little bit. A little bit. You know, the people, everything, you know, stuff happens in the world, in America, you know. It ain't exactly the same since I came here, you know. And but when I first came here, that's where I went. So then that's why I just carry myself the way I do. And if you pay attention, okay, when you put it together, okay, when he first came here, he went to Bed-Stuy. Wow. And they didn't tell me. Nobody told me. Nobody tell me, you know, this is Jay-Z neighborhood. This is Biggie was in this neighborhood. You know, on and on. Nobody tell me nothing. And I'm glad they did. They did it like that because it ain't that you would have been scared. You would have been more apprehensive. A little more cautious. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You ain't scared, but you know, you're a little more apprehensive. A little more cautious. You ain't trying to chill really too hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, but because they didn't tell me nothing, I just chilled. I just went out there, kicked it on the blocks, hung out, just walked around, and I got used to people in Bed-Stuy. So that was my first impression of New York City, was Bed-Stuy. Then I went to Harlem. Hold up. What did I do for, let me see. Bed-Stuy. Then East New York. Yeah. I went from Bed-Stuy to East New York. East New York. I was living in East New York. So I went from Bed-Stuy to East. Once again, I didn't even know what that was. Now I do. I was on New Lots Avenue. I was right there on New Lots Avenue. I'm the same kid. I was walking around, everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why maybe my influence being Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, East New York. That's why I'm like I am. Then I went to Harlem after that. That's the first three places I went. Bed-Stuy, East New York, and Harlem. Boom. That's perfect. I used to see the Apollo every day. I used to see that work out at Central Park. And I wasn't on ignorance. I was working out. When I'm healthy, I like to work out, take care of myself, stay cut, get my body cut. You know what I'm saying? So I was like working out at Central Park, running and jogging every day. If I ain't got nothing to do, as a black man, I'm going to work out. If I ain't got nothing to do with my routines and my everyday routines, I'm going to work out. That's what most black men going to tell you. Sure, I'm just getting my body together. I'm going to just get my body together. So, you know, that's what I was doing in Harlem. I was working out. I didn't feed into anything or try to get into anything, if that makes sense. And there was no negativity to get into, you know, but you know what I mean. I wasn't really trying to get into no mix, you know, of whatever was going on. I just stayed in my lane of what I was doing, working out. You know what I'm saying? Just walking around, stuff like that. Like a normal black person, what you expect a normal black person to do. That's what I was doing, just walking around, you know. So then I experienced Manhattan, which was everything we seen on TV. And I liked that too. All the city life, all the taxis, all the running around, the subways, all that kind of stuff. But see, I had already experienced Bed-Stuy. It was just like a young black dude, like how a dude come up in New York. You're going to know Bed-Stuy first, then you're going to go to Harlem, for no other reason, because of the Apollo. You're going to go through, you know, even East New York. You're going to see East New York. You're going to see Harlem. Then you're going to see Manhattan when you get a little older. You're going to go out there for whatever reason. So that's how it happened for me. I got more familiar with Lower Manhattan after I had already been in Bed-Stuy and everything. So I was already built right, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just coming to Manhattan and everything and just seeing that and just kind of not having a backbone, a New York backbone. You know, I already lived in Bed-Stuy and everything, seeing how people moved over there. And, you know, I didn't have any problems. I never had no one confront me ever in Bed-Stuy. And I never had any fights. It was beautiful. I didn't have no fights. I didn't have no funny energy. If somebody was funny, I didn't pay attention to it. If somebody looked at me funny, I didn't pay attention to it. Because I was in a good mood. I think they knew that too, probably. I was just in a real good mood. You know what I'm saying? When I first came here, and people probably could pick up on that. Probably like, nah, I ain't gonna mess with that person. That person in a good mood. You know what I'm saying? I had no problems. You know what I'm saying? I had no problems, bro. You know what I'm saying? Some people could tell you in a good mood and everything. You looking happy. You know. So I never had no problems in Bed-Stuy. You know what I'm saying? No problems in Harlem. No problems in East New York. Because I'm from the South. When people see how I move and how I talk, once they hear me talk and how I move, and it all comes together and makes sense, hey, what black man gonna play around me? None. I ain't gonna have no problems. Ain't nobody finna mess around no Southern black dude for what? It ain't gonna make sense. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, man, I had no problems. Once people talk to me, and then they see how generous I was, nice I was, and everything, that was it. I ain't had no problems. And I was genuinely like that. I wasn't doing that to suck up to anybody or because I was afraid or anything. I just was I was a genuinely nice person. You know, and I think people realize that too. So I didn't have any problems. I didn't have any problems. No significant problems. None. None. No significant problems in New York. You know what I'm saying? But that's off the strength of where I come from. From the South. I ain't gonna have no problems. Ain't no New York people gonna have problems with me. As soon as they hear me talk and everything, and I tell them where I'm from. Oh, you from Charlotte? Oh, I got family down there. That's what New York people gonna say all the time. Oh, I got family down there. I done heard a million New York people say that, so I'm aware of that. That's the first thing they gonna say. Oh, I got family in Charlotte. So see how it worked out? Like, it was already a bridge. And then I crossed over that bridge, and everybody knew what Charlotte people was, and that's how I was supposed to be embraced. From people y'all already know, family down there, everything. It was perfect. But then the devil came in. You see what I'm saying? The devil comes in. But it was already perfect because the bridge was already built between Charlotte and New York. The only problem was Charlotte just didn't know how to network, man. They didn't know how to. New York people was coming down there, but Charlotte people wasn't really coming up here. I mean, it's Charlotte people up here. I'm smart enough to know that based off the Chinese bus. Of course, it's gonna be Charlotte people up here. But you don't see nothing going on. That's what I'm not with Charlotte. You don't see Charlotte making no opportunities. And see, that was my only criticism. You know, Charlotte, man. You know, they should have submitted to New York or Atlanta. That was the mistake they made. You gotta submit to somebody in life. You can't go through life unsubmitted to anybody. You don't submit to nobody. You can't go through life like that. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was, man. They didn't submit to nobody. You know, and that's why they missed it. They didn't make it. You know, in the last days, they got one rapper, DaBaby, right? But then you find out he wasn't born in Charlotte. DaBaby ain't born in Charlotte. I innocently found that out just going to his Wikipedia. I didn't have nothing against him. I still really personally don't. Yeah, you know, he's not from Charlotte. So then you can't say really. Some people can't say that's the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Where somebody born and raised. DaBaby was not born in Charlotte. He was born in Ohio. So you can go look on his Wikipedia. He was not born in Charlotte. Okay? So then some people would say, well, Charlotte still didn't get nobody that was really born and raised in Charlotte. The whole thing, nope. So and then even if if you still give it to them based on the baby, it's the last days. I mean, Charlotte basically didn't get a superstar to the last days. Jodeci, you can talk about Jodeci, and I'm not ignorant of that, but Jodeci never shout out Charlotte really. I mean, they probably showed love, of course, but we ain't know no songs from. They didn't make any Charlotte songs. That's my criticism of Jodeci. Jodeci never made no Charlotte songs. They not even shout out Charlotte. Not that I heard. I mean, then again, I never bought a Jodeci album, so I don't. But I mean, I don't know no Jodeci songs that says Charlotte or anything like that. There was no Charlotte songs. Even when they made the song with Tupac, that was the chance for like a hip hop song, so you could say Charlotte, where you at? Something like that. Just put it in there. See, but that's how somebody would think that's all around. New York would think that. You know what I'm saying? Your city made it. You with Tupac. Okay, Charlotte, where you at? Boom. Everybody back home like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You on the song with Tupac. You gonna say, Charlotte, where you at? You know what I'm saying? How hard is that? You think Tupac gonna say, nah, don't put that in there. I don't feel that. You think Suge gonna say, nah, we don't feel that. They ain't gonna say that because they gonna know you trying to represent your hood. You trying to represent your community, man. They ain't gonna. Tupac would have. This is where they fumbled at. This is where Jodeci fumbled. On that song, Tell Me How You Want It, right? Jodeci should have said as a rap song. This ain't a R&B song where it wouldn't have made sense. You just saying Charlotte out there and it don't really fit into the vibe of the song. This is a more upbeat party type of song, love song. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing he said in the background, Alizé. You remember that part, right? Everybody remember that ad-lib, right? Come on. Every Charlotte person know that ad-lib. Alizé. When I was a kid, I didn't know what he was saying. I grew up. Okay. He said, Alizé. He was tipsy. Hanging with Tupac. Alizé. Why couldn't that ad-lib be Charlotte? Instead of saying Alizé. You could have said Charlotte. Charlotte, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Something like that. Come on, bounce off of him. A memory, you know what I'm saying? Make a memory. Everybody can remember. Drop the ball, man. Didn't say nothing. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, so if you really talk to real Charlotte people, man, we got our little criticisms, our little bitterness, man, you know what I'm saying, for things like that. Like, you realize Jodeci made a song with Tupac. How you ain't gonna say nothing about Charlotte? Just so Tupac will be aware of Charlotte. You made it where you're there with Tupac. Why can't you say something about Charlotte? Man, look at that, man. That's crazy, bro. Now, I know they said something to him about, yeah, we from Charlotte. Okay, Tupac probably, okay, yeah, that's what's up. Know what I'm saying? But you didn't, why you ain't put it on the song, man? So he could be thinking about it. He could be riding around, listening to the song. You say, Charlotte, where you at? He get tipsy, he like it a little bit, he smile a little bit. You ain't even do that, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's all I'm saying, man. See, that's legitimate bitterness, right? That's legitimate bitterness, man. That's legitimate bitterness, man. You could, come on. That's legitimate bitterness, man. Could have easily shouted out Charlotte. That would have made so much sense. And then for anybody else that Jodeci worked with, anybody else, there was no shout outs to Charlotte. You see what I'm saying? So then why would I credit it? Why would I make it like, why would I say, Charlotte, Jodeci is one of our own, and, and credit Charlotte to them so much when they didn't ever talk about Charlotte in their music? They could have made a love song, Charlotte Nights, or, you know what I mean? Charlotte Nights. That would have been nice. Charlotte Mornings. Charlotte Mornings with you. Something like that. Charlotte Mornings with you. Charlotte Nights. Charlotte Mornings with you. I mean, come on. Nothing that was a single. It wasn't no single. Come on, man. You should have made a song with talking about Charlotte in a single, man. That's just fumbling the ball, man. That's how I see it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it, bro. That's so, those are the situations, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can talk about anybody else, you can talk about these other people, but the main one gonna be Jodeci. That throughout the years, that was the main ones we knew was from Charlotte. They was from Hidden Valley, from North Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? So I stayed down the street from Hidden Valley. I got an aunt staying in Hidden Valley right now, where Jodeci was from. You know what I'm saying? In Charlotte. I stayed walking distance basically from Hidden Valley. I could walk there. You know what I'm saying? That's how close it was. It was the same, basically the same community. We relied on the same, let's put it like this. Hidden Valley, in the neighborhood I was in, we relied on the same Kmart, department stores, grocery stores. We relied on the same stores. We all relied on the same grocery stores. Pizza Hut, we had the same Pizza Hut. Hidden Valley had the same Pizza Hut on North Trine, right there in front of Kmart. Everybody, that's all gone, but yeah, used to be a Pizza Hut and then the Kmart in the back of the parking lot. That's how it used to be set up. So I was a kid over there then, you know. So I'm pretty sure Jodeci was over there then, back and forth, back and forth. Matter of fact, while I was over there, they was probably back and forth on that side of town, you know. But so I stayed on that side of town when my mom got her first apartment, second apartment. You know, it was over there in the Hidden Valley area, over there in that same community, over there where Jodeci from. But anyway, man, that's my particular story. Now, other people lived in other parts of North Charlotte. It wasn't right down the street from Hidden Valley. It wasn't right down the street. They didn't rely on the same grocery stores and Pizza Huts and things like that. But we did. We relied on the same grocery stores, Park & Shop. Everybody remember Park & Shop on North Trine. The same movie theater. We all went to the same movie theater, the same grocery store, the video stores to rent the VCR videos, and that we relied on the same community, basically. North Trine, where I was from, Sylvania Avenue, they relied on all the same stuff that Hidden Valley relied on. But we moved, you know what I'm saying? We moved. It was kind of good, but because if I stayed over there, boy, I don't know what kind of street dude I would have been. If I would have stayed in that neighborhood, if we would have stayed over there, I don't know what kind of street dude I would have been. You know what I'm saying? Because that was over there where it was. You know what I'm saying? All you had to do was move around a little bit, boy, and the hood was everywhere. It was all in all directions. Pretty much, you know, we moved from there when I was like 12 years old, something like that. And then we moved to West Charlotte, you know what I'm saying, which is just as hard, you know, but if I would have probably stayed in that particular same neighborhood, I probably would have been a different person. I think so. You know what I'm saying? I still did stuff in West Charlotte, but if I stayed in that same neighborhood, I would have probably been in more criminal activity, that's for sure. More street activity, definitely. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's why Charlotte didn't make it, man. That's why they didn't make it. Because nobody that's an OG from Charlotte can be mad at this, because that's the truth. Somebody gotta submit to New York or Atlanta for the team. Somebody got to. You got two options, New York or Atlanta. I would say both options. Take both. Have people go to New York and have people go to Atlanta. They didn't do that. That's my argument, man. That's my legit argument. You know, and then all the stars were passing through Charlotte and just taking advantage of the people, taking the money. I mean, you know what I mean. We was just glad for famous people to be passing through Charlotte, but we wasn't taking advantage of the opportunity to network. You know what I'm saying? Now we do. But back in the day, up until about 2010, 2012ish, around there, Charlotte was just glad that these people was passing through their city, but they wasn't putting their best foot forward, showing those same people their talent, like showing these famous people their talent, showing them who you got. And I know they probably tried it a little bit, but they didn't really, you know what I'm saying, you know, they didn't really bring nobody out and showcase talent to famous people. So they was coming through there just getting money, but Charlotte wasn't showcasing their best talent. They wasn't. I know they wasn't. Because Charlotte got talent. So how you telling me all these people passed through Charlotte doing these shows and everything? Every name you can think about done passed through Charlotte. Off the strength of that being the South and off that, you know what I mean? A chocolate city that's embarked on and not really embarked on. So how come they didn't showcase their greatest talent, R&B singers and rappers and everything? How come they didn't showcase their best talent? Because they wasn't focused on networking. They wasn't focused on networking. The best talent should have came up there and hung around. You know what I'm saying? You know, these people come into town. Now they're going to do that, but it's too late. You know, back in the day, they should have put the best talent should have been up that downtown, wherever else these people was, and showcase your best talent. They didn't do it. So over the years, people passed through Charlotte and just took money, got money, and just passed through, got money off of Charlotte, but we ain't even get no opportunities. See, I know what I'm talking about, because it's common sense. It's common sense. That's how I know. You know, all these people passing through Charlotte, how come you ain't showcase all the best talent? You know what I mean? You know, like I'm talking about not just a couple people, all of it. Because they might gravitate to somebody that we might not even think is the best. For whatever reason, though, the vibe is good for them. They like what they hear. You know, they should have been putting up all the talent. They didn't do that. They wasn't ready. Like, they wasn't built like that at that time. Let's put it like that. Charlotte wasn't built like that in the 80s and the 90s. Now, okay, yeah, you're going to put your best talent up there. Your family going to tell you to go down there because somebody in town. You know what I mean? But back in the 90s and the 80s, and they obviously wasn't doing that. Because they got talent. They got plenty of talent. It's the South. It's Southern people. They got soul. You know, they got talent. That's real African people. They got talent. They just didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? They didn't network properly in the 80s and the 90s. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? All the talent. I mean, and then Jodeci really didn't scout for talent in Charlotte either. Not really. Look at that. You know, I mean, it's just. I'm telling you what it is, man. It's people that's from the South. It's just, you know, we barely make it when we do become famous, and because we come from a city or a culture that's all about working hard. It's all about work ethic. They don't believe in dreams. The South don't believe in dreams. The South believe in practical working hard. That's it. That's all they do. They work for other people. You know what I'm saying? In California and New York, people see talent in their children and go get them booked on some little show. And see, in the South, we would down our own children. Nah, I don't think they can do that. You know, shoot. Whether they can do it or not in California, New York, they gonna throw their children up on stage, right or wrong. They put their children up there, buddy. They put their children in catalogs and modeling. You got a good looking kid, you put them in modeling and stuff like that. You know, people was telling me in my own family I should have been doing modeling when I was a kid. My face belonged on TV, things like I was hearing that from my own family. My mom just didn't, you know, they Southern people. They not built like that. They wait too late to see talent and stuff. You see talent as soon as your kids are talking. They could be just a little inquisitive, little energetic little kid. Oh, I'm gonna put my kid in modeling. You sitting there in a little lobby with your little kid ready to get them on with modeling. You know what I'm saying? See, that's how California moved. That's why they kids get up and they'll tell you, yeah, I was you notice the stars and say, yeah, I was modeling back in the day. You know, I did this before that, and I did this. They got a whole portfolio before they become famous because their parents already seen their talent. Michael Jackson, his family, as soon as, you know, Joe Jackson seen the talent. He ain't make his kids go work. Charlotte will make their kids go work. You see talent in your kids, you don't make your kids go work. You put them out there and you train them and you make them the best. That's why Michael Jackson couldn't really criticize his father, because his father made him who he was. Whether you liked him or not, you wouldn't have had no Michael Jackson without Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson was the heart, the strength of the masculine part of the whole Jackson 5 to make it pop and do what it do. That's a perfect example of black parents and them seeing talent in their children. Now, when time passed on, people stopped looking at it like that. You need to go work. You can work and pursue your talent. See, that's what Charlotte started saying. No, you can't. No, let me tell you something from a musician's perspective. You can't work and pursue talent and become a superstar because you need every day to network. You need to be out there in the streets like they used to be. You need to be out there passing out flyers, and you need to be doing that as a full-time job, man. Nah, you need to be spending all your best time every day going out somewhere, going to a studio, going out there handing out flyers, putting out flyers, trying to meet people, trying to be in the right place. You need to be doing that like all the time. And then you need to be just writing music, especially if you're an R&B singer or like that, or a producer, a rapper. Okay, you can punch in, punch out in the studio. Okay, you can work. Maybe you could work. And a singer, you need so much time to like practice singing and getting your style together. It's so easy to rap. It's almost like talking. Singing is a whole other animal when it comes to your undivided attention. You need to be doing that all the time. You need to be singing all the time. You need to be out there all the time. But parents in Charlotte will tell you these days, in the modern time, you can pursue your talent. They can believe in it too. Because my family believed in mine. But they won't just let you dedicate yourself to your music. A Charlotte culture is not gonna let you do that. Nope. Because they believe in work ethic. They believe in, that's why you respect them, because they work hard. That's for sure. Many of them do. But they don't believe in dreams. They let their dreams die because they listen to their family. Their family tell them, well, nah, you don't need to go to New York until you got your money. How you gonna ever get enough money to live in New York at any time? Even in the 90s, how you gonna have enough money? You ain't gonna never have enough money to live in New York. You gotta come here and struggle. That's what you gotta do. See, a Charlotte person wouldn't know that. That what you really have to do, I would tell my kids, look, you gotta go there and struggle, bro. You ain't gonna never save enough money to live in New York. No. Where? And then what job you gonna have once the money runs out? You gotta go up there and struggle and get in and, find a little situation. You're strong enough to do that. You're a grown man. Go up there and struggle a little bit and find a situation. You know what danger is. You know how to stay out the way. You know how to stay out of what. You got to go do what you got to do. Just stay out the way. You know what I'm saying? Stay point A to point B. Know when the vibe ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Move on when the vibe. Don't linger when you know the vibe ain't right. Don't try to make no points and prove nothing to nobody. You know the vibe ain't right. People ain't showing no love. Move on. Move on. Don't even matter. Don't even try to be like, well, I ain't gonna let nobody clown me. Move on. Just move on. You already know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And people trying to clown you or whatever, maybe showing your talent, they don't like it, or they hating on you. Move on. Go down another block. Go down the street, go across the street, and go to another block across the street. Go over there. Oh, they like you. They got a studio for you. Now you got a homie. You know what I'm saying? You keep moving around in New York till it works out. You know what I mean? See, this is how soldiers are made. This is how the best is made, buddy. You gotta come here and struggle. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. You ain't gonna never have enough money to live in New York. No. That's a lie. That's a fable. That's a folklore. That's fables, man. And that's what black people in Charlotte would tell. Well, make sure you got enough money before you go up there. How many times Charlotte people gonna tell you that? Your family told you that, didn't it? When are you ever, especially now, when you ever gonna have enough money to come up here? You ain't gonna never have enough money. You ain't gonna never have enough money to come up here. No, you're not. You ain't gonna never save enough, bro. And your family told you to do that, didn't it? I guarantee you. How you think I know, man? Because I know the precautions that Charlotteans take. Their precaution is, I want to have enough money before I go up there. That sounds good, but you ain't never seen it on TV. And that's what I would challenge people to do. When did you see black people save enough money and go to New York and then make it? But they had a whole bunch of bread. They came up there with a whole bunch of bread and just got and got a place to live and got on. It don't ever happen like that. You black, you gotta come up here and struggle. You gotta come up here in black neighborhoods and struggle. Like being black up here. You gotta come up here and be black up here, basically. That part. You gotta come up here and be black up here. Right? You ain't gonna come up here with a load of money and yeah, I'm gonna do this and I got this and I got that. Rarely. I'm not saying it's not possible. But rarely, man, will that be the way it will be. New York will swallow all your money up, especially if you ain't got no experience and you try to live in Lower Manhattan somewhere. You know what I mean? You try to live down there, you don't know no better. You know what you will have to wind up doing, even if you save money? Going right to the hood. You're gonna be right in the hood, homie. You can't come up here and go to Lower Manhattan. You never could. And your family too scared for you to go to the hood up here. They don't realize there's good black people up here too. So they too scared for you to go to the hood up here. The truth is, just like when you leave your mom's house, you gotta come up here and go to the hood. Yup. You gotta come up here and go to the hood. That's what you gotta do. See, now if you tell your family that, that's with you saving money too. Add you saving money to do that, right? You save bread, guess what? You still going to the hood. You still going to the hood, buddy. But your family ain't gonna want you to do that. No. You tell them you coming to Brooklyn, you gonna go in the heart. They gonna be like, no. They gonna say no. You know the movie when something bad happened? No. Hey, tell your family you gotta come to Brooklyn. No. Hey, your aunt gonna say no. It gotta be a better way. They're gonna say, hey, Charlotte gonna say, it's gotta be a better way. It ain't a better way, bruh. You gotta come up here and struggle. That's what you gotta do. I know that now. You can't come up here tomorrow, yo, I'ma save money and I'ma do this and I'ma get on. Okay. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that can't happen. But most likely, you're gonna be in the hood, bro. You black. You're gonna be in the hood. You just gotta come up here, mind your business, stay in your lane, do you. That's what you gotta do. But see, if Charlotte was told like that, then you see the difference. You would have been done that. You would have been like, well, I might save a couple stacks. See, now that you got the internet, you can go look on, you can do a lot of networking and make a lot of calls and things like that. But the bottom line is this, bro. I'm gonna tell you one thing I learned in life when it comes to saving money. You can never save enough money to really do what you want to do. It's gonna be some struggle. It's gonna be some struggle. I mean, you could save something that's a set price, like a car. You could save for a car, stuff like that. But like saving for enough money to live per se, how you gonna really do that? You gotta come struggle a little bit. That's what you gotta do. Ain't no way around it. See, but your family is from the South, their country, they don't know no better. They telling you, oh, you gotta save some money before you go up there. How much money? It's never enough, man. And I don't care what era you would have came up here in. You could have came up here in the 90s, whenever, bro. You would have never had enough money to come up here. You just gotta come up here and struggle, bro. That's the only way. I'm telling you, man. See, I know how to raise kids with talent. You got talent? Okay. You might not want to hear this. You want to go to New York? You might not want to hear this, but the best thing for you to do is go up there and go into the shelter system. The family gonna say, no, that's the best thing to do. Come up here and go to the shelter system. Get up, they're gonna help you with jobs, they're gonna help you around New York. You're gonna be in safe hands, you're gonna have, decent security around the shelter. You know what I mean? You're gonna have cameras. The best thing you should have done, come straight to the shelter system. I tell my kids, this is a whole new generation. You want to go to New York? Best thing for you to do is find a good shelter to go to. Start there, get you a job, get you placement for as an apartment. Get that going. Work your job. Get gigs with your music. Look for gigs. Look for opening shows you can do. And then when you do that, next thing you know, you work your little shows. You work your little shows. And then you get on. And you keep working until you get on. But you're in New York. So you're there. You're in a shelter, you start there. Boom. Instead of, oh, well, I'm going to try to get some money. I'm going to try to do this. Bro, let me tell you something. You're not going to save enough money to live in New York. I'm telling you that. As soon as you think you got enough, let's just say you thinking you're going to save $50K. Let's say you're going to save $50K to come to New York. $50K. Well, let's say with that $50K, since you got $50K, you ain't gonna catch the Greyhound. You gonna get a plane ticket. That shouldn't be too much. It shouldn't be too much. But you already spending money. Let's just say because you got $50K also, knowing you and being pretty young, you gonna get a motel room. You gonna get a hotel room. You ain't trying to struggle as soon as you get there. So let's just say most people gonna spend about 2 weeks in a motel? I would. If I had $50K, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm going to a hotel for about 2 weeks. Just to feel out the city, just to feel it out. Move around. Now, that's going to be about 7K? Something like that. So now you got about roughly 42K, 43K. Okay? Let's just consider you paid like a stack for your plane ticket, right? For your plane ticket. So you got, let's say once you settle in, move around, let's say you hit the ground running. Coming here, you got to hit the ground running. That's real. That's the first thing you got to understand. You hit the ground running. Luckily, if you're lucky, you could get an opportunity as soon as you get here. Now that's a cliche mentality that you stick to, because it can be real. As soon as you come to New York, you hit the ground running. You go straight to where you want to go. You don't go straight to a hotel and just chill. No, you go straight to, you chill, you get the hotel. I give you 3 days to chill. You know what I mean? That's how cool I am. I'm going to chill for about 2-3 days. You know what I'm saying? Eat good, move around. I chill for about 3 days before I do something. After 3 days, if you're really serious and you really got a portfolio and you really got something you can show people at face value, I can give you my CD, I can give you my demo, I can give you something. I got stuff I can reference to. I got places, links and things on the internet I can take you to. I'm going to be, after about 3 days to a week, okay, just a week. Chill for a week, right? That second week, it's go time, buddy. It's go time. You hit the ground running. You come here and you hit the ground running. That's how you breed people. You come here and hit the ground running. Because you ain't settled into New York like the rest of us. So you're already excited anyway. So I'm going to use that fuel. I'm going to use that fuel of excitement, and you ain't used to New York or nothing like that. I'm gonna use that to get you to put for fuel to get you out there. So, with that being said, you're gonna come here after the first week. Then once you're in the second week, you hit the ground running. You make all your spots. You line up all the little places, all the little gigs, everything. When I first came to New York, I had CDs. No, this is what you need to hear. This is what's going to impress you. I already had demos when I came to New York. I had demos, more than one. I had my little biography I wrote out, but I ain't had no pictures, right? But I had my little, I made my little biography, you know what I mean? Like where I come from, et cetera, my music biography or whatever. And so what I used to do is put my CD in my paper biography and put it and slip it and ship it out somewhere, right? Only thing is I didn't have pictures. And good as I look, I should have had pictures. I didn't go out my way to get pictures and everything made and be able to duplicate pictures and have a little picture or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing, because I could have sold people on my looks, especially when I was young. When I had long hair, everything like that, I could have sold people on my looks, but I didn't have no pictures or nothing like that. I didn't have nobody really, a network that just, you know how you got some people, yeah, man, you need some pictures or something. I ain't have them kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? So, but I went to the studio and made and paid for my whole projects. I made whole projects. I didn't do demos. I made whole projects, which was a good move because I could show you all different types of styles and show you how I would make I got the chops to make a whole album. I used to make albums. I used to make whole albums. I go to the studio, I pay for my studio time and make whole albums. I used to pay for all my money, I used to work and pay for my whole studio album. All my studio time. And so when I came to New York, I already had CDs. I had demos. I sent them to I'm gonna tell you who I sent it to first. I sent it to Bad Boy Records, to Diddy. Hey, I sent my demo to Diddy. Right? You know what I'm saying? I sent my demo to Diddy. I called the secretary because I had a phone and everything. I just want people to know, because people come up here and say, yo, you ain't doing anything. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I did. People fumbled the ball. They fumbled me. I sent my music to Diddy. He had the whole CD. I forgot how many tracks I had on there. I might have had 12. It's hard for me to remember. But I had a lot of tracks on there, bro. I had a lot of tracks. It's no excuse. And so you could see what I could do. So I confirmed, once I sent my music to Bad Boy Records, I confirmed with the secretary. I called her. See, this is how easy it was back when I first came to New York. It was like the 90s. You know, you still could approach labels and get the real number. So I actually did that. Straight up, I called Bad Boy Records. Oh, yeah. I just wanted to confirm. I sent my music out there. I just wanted to confirm that y'all got my music or whatever like that. I know how to be professional. Oh, okay. You know, what's your name? Donnell Currence. DONNELL CURRENC. Okay, yeah, we got it. Okay, boom. Okay, thank you. Like that. So I confirmed with the secretary of Bad Boy Records that they got my music and everything. I can't tell you what happened, buddy. I can't tell you. Then I got a plug with Roy Cormier. Roy Cormier, right? I don't know if y'all know that. Now, insiders in New York know who he is. I sent music to him, and the same thing, the CD, the biography, I sent it to him. But then that's when Hurricane, what was that hurricane that came up here during late 2012, October, Sandy, Hurricane Sandy. So I came right up here as Hurricane Sandy was up here. The same month it hit, and he had like water damage, house damage from the hurricane. So I'm guessing my CD was somewhere in that house. Just freaky situation, you know. I talked to him personally. I emailed him or somehow I talked to him, and he told me something happened with his house. And I forgot even how I got that plug. To be honest with you, I don't remember. But anyway, This was a legitimate plug, and like freaky situation. You know, Hurricane Sandy came up here, and his house had damage. Now, what I'm thinking, even though it wasn't personal, he probably just threw away the discarded stuff that was damaged, like including my CD. It might have been somewhere, or it just got stored away in containers. You know, he just started putting everything in containers because of that. What happened, right? That's the first thing somebody's gonna do is start collecting all their stuff. So he probably put that, sealed that away in some container back in some room or something, man. Still probably there. In all actuality, people like that, they're good at preserving things. And then so that's number 2. Then number 3, I met Nas Godfather, the rapper Nas. Yeah. Yeah, I met his godfather in Harlem when I was living in Harlem on Park Avenue, right when you leave, coming away from Lenox, going towards Park Avenue. When you pass that Wendy's on the left and you pass that bridge, pass over, and you hit Park Avenue right there, I went right up the block, right up there. So at that time, I was smoking, I ain't had no cigarettes or nothing. So I was just walking around, about to go down towards Lower Manhattan to try to get cigarettes. So, you know, and he was parallel parked right on Park Avenue, maybe like 3 blocks up from Harlem, but still in the vicinity of Harlem, right down the block. But he was like 3 blocks up Park Avenue, 2 to 3 blocks. So I seen him smoking a cigarette, and I asked him for a cigarette, and he said he'll bust me down because that was his last cigarette. So we were sitting there talking, and and he bust me down, and I was telling him about my music or whatever. He was like, "Oh man, yeah." Now this is the New York you expect, just meeting people. So this is who I met. He was like, "Oh yeah, I know Nas and my son used to come over my house, and me and my son was friends." I was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "I'm Nas' godfather." I was like, "Okay." So I spit for him right there. I spit some bars for him right there, right? So he was like, "Oh man," he was like, he took down my information or whatever, put it in a folder and everything, and put it in his car. This dude was so cool, he took me to go get Lucy's, everything, pizza, everything. So that's how I know he was telling the truth. He had a nice car. He took me to go get pizza, Lucy's, everything around the way in Harlem, no lie. And he made me go run an errand to go get his brother. His brother, this is how you know the real story. If you know Nas' godfather, you can go to the real story. He had a brother that lived in Harlem, right? So he was in some type of little apartment over there, in like apartment program type of place. And Nas' godfather asked me to go and see if his brother, ask for his brother and see if his brother is there. So I talked to the front desk and he was like, "Nah, he wasn't there." So I ran an errand for him too. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was over there. I think for his brother. So if you know Nas' godfather, you can go make you can get all those receipts as far as the facts of brother, this and that, in Harlem, this and that, and Nas' godfather being in Harlem, this, that. And you'll see it's credible. So I talked to Nas' godfather, whatever, but nothing came out of it. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's 3. The fourth one is, the fourth situation is Havoc from Mobb Deep. Now, he actually heard my music. That's my most credible opportunity. And I still got receipts to prove that. I can show you, and not in a discrediting way, I can show you the whole receipt where he direct messaged me and said he seen what I was doing with my music, everything like that. Gave me his number, everything. Told me to come holler at him and everything. That's Havoc from Mobb Deep. So So that was the most credible. And the thing is, I grew up on Mobb Deep. Like, I went and supported them. I bought the Hell on Earth album. I had the whole Hell on Earth album. So, you know, that's my most credible situation. You know what I'm saying? Havoc from Mobb Deep. So most people find that very impressive because I was trying to get on with Bone Thugs and Harmony, and I wound up talking to one of them too. So I talked to one of the Bone Thug members, but he's not good in business. Some people just not good in business. They could be the coolest people in the world, but they just not good in business. And I told him that to his face. You know, that's something you should be able to take. But I talked to Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony because I sent him my music. But I should have been going with, I wasted time trying to go with Bone Thugs. And I finally caught up to one of them in real life now and talked to him, and he knows my name, everything. He wound up giving me my money back because he had a program where he was listening to people's tracks for $60. He had a program called the Fast Track. You can go look it up. This was like in 2012. So that same studio project that I sent to Diddy, I sent it to him too, right? So they got it, they confirmed. Well, I sent him like a song because what he wanted was one song, and he would give you advice, and if he liked you, he'd put you on. So I sent him my music, and then long story short, they gave me like the runaround about listening to my music and everything like that. And it was just crazy runaround to the point where I had to confront him, I feel, on business. And I was like, I told him on Facebook, I posted that I like the person of Crazy Bone, but not the business. I don't respect the business person of Crazy Bone. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just too much miscommunication that he should have handled himself. So I kept messing around Bone Thugs and Harmonies, but I wasted a whole bunch of time playing around them dudes. In other words, expecting to get on with them. I shouldn't have went on. I realized that they was not good at business. They was not good. And even now, I went and checked out some of his artists. They on the shelf. Like this main artist is named Kane, right? Kane ain't put out a video literally in like 2 years. This is a famous rapper, man. I checked and he ain't put out a, this dude is on. I'm talking about on, like hanging around them dudes. How you ain't put a song out in 2 years, bruh? And you got that plug like that. Because, man, the truth is, it's nothing personal, man. It's just, they're not good. Bone Thugs is not good at business. It's not everybody's cup of tea, man. They're not good. They barely just understanding what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasted time trying to hook up with them, man. You know, I should have went with just New York in general. I wasted time trying to hook up with them dudes, man. I finally caught up to one of them, though. And then when I caught up to him, he sent my money back. He was good enough to send my money back. So that is good in business sense, in a sense, of sending my money. But it was only $60. So it wasn't even no significant amount of money. It wasn't about the money. It was about the opportunity. You know, so when I talked to him, he said, this is what Crazy Bone himself said. Well, you got your money back, right? Yeah, I got my money back, but it wasn't about the money. You know what I'm saying? It was about the opportunity. $60, that's nothing. I'm looking at the opportunity. But so I actually talked to him in person. Like, that really happened. So that's what I'm saying. I talked to these guys. I have I've interacted with a handful of people, whether indirectly, directly, you know what I mean? Nas Godfather, Nas, his godfather. Havoc from Mobb Deep. That's all Queensbridge right there. And Crazy Bone. I talked to Lil Wayne too. Lil Wayne. But he was just a cool person. I talked to Wayne just as a cool person. That's it. Wayne is a cool dude. Lil Wayne is a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? But he's a genuine person. He's a very genuine person. I talked to Silk the Shocker, MC Light. Yeah, I talked to MC Light too. That's like for all of New York. Yo, you talk to MC Light? Like, yeah. Like on Twitter, that's when everybody was approachable, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could talk to the stars back then in 2012, you know? So I talked to MC Light. That's like the whole culture. See what happened, man? It just was these lame dudes. I'm telling you, man, running their mouth, playing with people. You know what I'm saying? It's no excuse for it. You know, they want to be famous. But like you see for me, I got mine out the mud. You know what I'm saying? Now, MC Light, I just talked to her because she's inspired me to quit smoking. So that's why I talked to MC Light. You know what I'm saying? That's why I talked to MC Light. And she was like, that's good. You know, I was telling her one of her songs inspired me to quit smoking. But see, she, like, those people like that, that's genuine people. That's real people. You know what I'm saying? Crazy Bone, I'm saying he a cool person. I mean, you know, as a person, like I said, but back to as a person, he cool as a fan, you know? But on the music, man, like, on the business tip, garbage. And I base that off of all the artists that he had. Like, all these artists he had, they all fell off, man. Every single one. Almost like they should have never went with him. They should have went with somebody else, like me. Most people who focused on Bone Thugs and Harmony probably should have went to another label. And you can't tell me all those people that they had, one of them would have made it. One of them would have made it. At least one. I mean, let's look at Crazy Bone's label. He had that group, that Relay, the black girls. Man, they was hot. They looked good. They had a good image, everything. Fell totally off. Only got one song still up on you go Google them. You only find one song, bro. No, I'm serious. Man, listen, man. Bone Thugs had a whole roster. It started with Mo Thug Records. They had a whole roster. No, you might not know because you're not a Bone Thugs fan. They had a whole roster, like a whole label set up from day one. They didn't even have to go get artists. They had a whole roster from day one. I mean, they was together making songs. The little groups, the little acts had their own music and everything. I can't make this up, bro. None of them dudes made it, bruh. And trust me, I got an ear for talent myself. All of them had talent. All of them was good. All of them was real music, like real street dudes and soul survivors, ghetto survivors. That's how I put it. Ghetto survivors. People that survived the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to summarize their music. You know, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, in a good way. But that's for Mo Thugs, right? Then after Mo Thug, Crazy Bone had a record label, and Busy Bone had a record label. They all had great artists. All of them were hot. It was not one of them that I thought, that ain't so good. All of them were good. None of them to this day is on. None of them is on. Nobody knows about them unless you're a Bone Thug fan. None of them. And the latest artist that Crazy Bone had that same place where I was supposed to get on at that same time, that's when he got on. He got on with that opportunity that when I sent Krayzie Bone my music, and he wound up sending me my money back, because it was confusion between me and the staff. It was not Krayzie Bone personally, but Krayzie Bone was supposed to shut it down. He was supposed to shut down any all the confusion. This is how it was, right? He was supposed to listen to my music before he went out and toured, right? I said toured, but it was shows that he had in Switzerland, right? They was going way out there. So of course, if somebody about to listen to your music, you amped up, you know what I'm saying? You excited. This is the opportunity you finally wanted, right? So I'm following people on Twitter like I supposed to. So when I found that Krayzie Bone and them said they was going out to Switzerland, I hit back the staff that said he was gonna listen to my music before he went back out. So then I emailed the staff, and the staff was like, I told him, I was like, yeah, you said he was gonna listen to my music before he went out and toured. You know what he gonna hang on? My misunderstanding of what kind of show it was, or what the situation was as far as doing shows. He was like, it's not a tour. They're not doing a tour. Okay, but you know what I'm talking about. But this type of person, this is how funny they was. They hanging on little I'm telling you, this is exactly the energy they had. He's not doing a tour. It's not a tour. Bro, you know what I'm talking about, though. Okay, you know what I'm talking about, though. You know, but he's sticking on the technicality. How I supposed to know what it is? All I know is you going way over there to Switzerland. Sounds like a tour to me. Sounds like a tour to me. You way over there in Switzerland. That don't sound like a random show, does it? I mean, so anybody would assume that was some type of tour or something like that. So anyway, me and this person was going back and forth on that type of thing like that. You see what I'm saying? They already tell you what type of situation it was. You know, so I'm just like, they knew I had the music. The staff confirmed that they got my music. They knew they had it, right? And the problem came where he gonna tell me, oh, well, you know, they gonna listen to it when they get a chance. I mean, he gonna listen to it and everything like that. Time goes by. The staff should have never told me something that this man could not do. He told me he was gonna listen to the music before he went to Switzerland, right? Okay, so before you go to Switzerland, I'm expecting you to listen to the music. That's professional. That's being professional. I seen he sent a tweet out on our way to Switzerland. What I'm gonna think? Oh, wow, he didn't listen to the music. So I'm going back to the staff like, yo, y'all, you said it before he went back out to do a tour, he was gonna listen to my music. Oh, he's not on tour. You see how that sound? Instead of you already really knowing what I'm talking about. You know what I'm referring to, but you're being a jerk, right? You know, and so you know what I'm referring to. You see, it was that kind of situation, man. That basically show you what it is right there. You see what I'm saying? That vibe right there, that tells you everything, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what it was. You know, that's how it was, man. And so finally, man, when I didn't hear back, well, Krayzie Bone just told him to send me, because there was so much confusion, my name came up to him on negativity. So once Krayzie heard about me personally, he just said, man, send that dude his money back, man. Like that. He just washed his hands. And that ain't what I wanted him to do. But once he heard everything that was going on, which it wasn't my fault, because the staff was telling me one thing and Bone was doing another thing. So put yourself in my shoes. What I supposed to do? I can see if nobody told me nothing, right? But if you telling me something, what do I supposed to do? Not believe what you're saying, not hold on. He didn't give me no in between. It would have been different if he was like, well, he might listen to the music, but he's like, yo, before he goes back out like that, right? What you gonna think? And you already waiting? Yo, what's going on? Even though I know it's something going on in his family, but still, if you telling me business is running and going, what I supposed to do? Ignore what you're telling me? It's just like, come on, bro. That's what it was on, man. That's the situation it was on. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's how it happened with me and Crazy Bone, man. Like, you know, so by the time I caught up to him personally, which that's my personality, that's why I told y'all, I'm not saying I bum rushed the guy or threatened the guy. I'm not saying any of that, but my personality is mano a mano. You know what I'm saying? If it's a situation, I'm gonna come talk to you. So I caught up with Crazy Bone himself, and I was like, yo, man, I respect the person of Crazy Bone, but I don't respect the business of Crazy Bone. So that's what got him started. He was like, what happened? Like, didn't you get your money back or whatever like that? I was like, yeah, but, and I heard everything that happened. He was like, well, you should have understood. But understand what? Understand what? Like, to not listen to the people? To not take him seriously in what he said? How am I supposed to understand beyond what this person is telling me? That's what Crazy Bone himself said. So he know me personally. He said, Marcello, you should have understood. I'm like, but understand what though? I don't supposed to listen to. I supposed to listen to this person. I don't supposed to listen to this person. So he didn't even know. So now you know who the prophet is. And I talked to Crazy Bone personally. Me and him was going back and forth, not yelling, not a shouting match, so to speak. It was just a back and forth, sifting through the situation. We were sifting through the situation. That's how it happened. But he was like, he said my name and everything. Marcello, you should have understood everything like that. I'm like, but how I see it is, if somebody's telling me something, I'm supposed to understand beyond what they telling me. And so he was like, well, didn't you get your money back? I was like, well, yeah, I got my money back. So that's my situation with Bone Thugs. Just in case you think I sat on my talent, I actually started talking to these guys out there in the music industry. And like I said, Crazy Bone is a person as cool as a fan, but when it comes to the business aspect of the business, I take points off, man. I take points off because that should have never happened like that. It shouldn't have been no misunderstanding. If you're not able to do something or you're not in the mood to do something at the time, that should have been communicated with the staff so I wouldn't be under the impression that you was definitely going to do something. That's being professional. Like, at least give me, fine print kind of talk. Well, he might not, but he might will. Okay, you already let me know. But when you talk to me in a matter-of-fact kind of way, like he's going to listen to it before he goes out. Mind you, I'm already waiting already. What you going to think? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like that, Then he wound up sending my money back, but I already had the opportunity, everything like that. So that's just how it happened. You know what I'm saying? So, that tells you how it is. You know what I'm saying? I got my money back, everything, from Crazy Bone. You know what I'm saying? And so that gives you an idea. I did not sit on my talent. And that was before I went to New York. That's before I even came. Hold up, yo. That's before I even came to New York. No, did you hear what I said? That's before I even came to New York. All of that happened with Crazy Bone and all of that. Before I even came to New York City for the first time, that I had already, you see me? You see what I'm saying? I had already had an interaction with somebody that was famous before I came to New York City. Now, don't you see why I would come up here? I already interacted with somebody. I was already talking to somebody. Trying to get on or whatever. Yeah. So you see, I wasn't sitting on my talent. You see, I was talking to famous people. So you can't say, oh, yo, this dude just talking about he was a musician or whatever, and you don't really believe it. Okay, well, I was talking to famous people, getting my money back, back and forth, talking to famous people with their staff and everything. I was in that situation. Then when I came up here, I sent my music to Diddy, Bad Boy Records. That's the same year. Well, all that stuff happened. It's still the same year, but later on. So I came up here October 2012. Sent my music to Diddy. They confirmed it. The secretary confirmed she got my music. Boom. Okay, now I'm playing the waiting game. Nothing happens. Nothing is said. And that's that. That's how it happened. Now, you know what I'm saying? Talent is talent. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to prove you hungry. You don't have to prove you... If you got talent, I ain't gonna wait. I ain't gonna try to get you to prove that you you wanna get on. I mean, you got talent. I'm gonna go old school. Oh, I want this person in the studio. I don't care nothing about them being hungry. We'll figure all that out later. This person got talent. See, that's what I expected. I expected an old school response to my music. Like Havoc from Mobb Deep. He heard my music, he was like, yo, he dropped me his number. That's what I'm talking about. So when Mobb Deep from Queensbridge, you know, Havoc, that's my greatest credibility. So you can't act like, oh, this dude is retarded. He ain't got no talent. He tripping. He think he could be a musician. Okay, well, a famous person sent me their number. Seeing my image, seeing how I look, everything, because I was on Twitter. He checked it all out. He sent me his number and everything. That's for all of New York. You can't even say nothing. Havoc from Mobb Deep? Are you kidding me? That's like one of the best of all time. They the best of all time. You got to put them in the top 50 for sure. I'm just saying, just for safeness. As far as New York, they gonna be in the top 50 for sure, right? As far as MCs and all of that, of course. I would put them way above that, but I'm just saying to be safe with everybody. They gonna be in your top 50 for sure, as far as MCs in New York MCs. Yeah, they gonna be in there for sure. So that was a better fit because I'm a MC. I go bar for bar, and I pride myself on saying something that another rapper ain't never said before. See, that's what happened. People lost that original approach to lyrics, where I say something I know you ain't said, and that's my, not my niche, but that's my secret sauce. I'm gonna say something you ain't never said, like, yo, that was hot. So Havoc from Mobb Deep heard my music, you know what I'm saying? If I was corny, he wouldn't have called me. He wouldn't have texted me. He wouldn't have communicated with me. So, that's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Some people will never get those opportunities. They here in New York, they know everybody, but Havoc from Mobb Deep ain't even going to listen to their music. You see what I'm saying? So, that's my situation. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to speak for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's my situation. So now you see why I am the way I am. I got credibility. I got credibility on everything I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Now, these other cats might tell you they got talent or whatever. I don't know what to believe these days. But I know I have talent. I know my talent has been confirmed. And that's that. Even with Nas Godfather, if I was whack, he would have just said, yo, just stick with the music. Hey, that's what you say with a whack person, don't you? Hey, just stick with the music, man. Keep going at it. He ain't tell me that. He liked what I was doing. He took my name down. But a guy like that, and this is another thing, was Nas Godfather. He had a North Carolina tag. That's you can't make that up. He either did or he didn't. You know what I'm saying? So that's just basically what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? That's basically my lineup as far as like me being taken seriously, man. So just in case people thought, you know what I'm saying, I was just some little weirdo, some little strange dude. That's why I'm taking care of my business, bro. You see what I'm saying? Now put it all together, who I am and what I'm doing now. Do you think I'm playing games? I'm not, bro. I'm not playing. I'm not playing any games with these people. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to die for mine, bro. And ain't nothing you can say to a man like that. So you can't say, oh well, we'll do this, we'll do. I'm willing to die for mine. So then you got to have a whole different conversation, because I'm not worried about that. I'm not thinking about it, and I already addressed it. So that forced you to have a different conversation. Like, you need to get my money. Like, I'm credible, and you a clown. Like, my music has been heard by famous people, and you're a clown. You know what I'm saying? And nobody knows you at all. And you can't say that for me. So that's why, another thing, I'm satisfied as far as being an artist, because I did get validated by somebody that was famous. I mean, validation is almost better than validation from an artist is almost better than a career. You wouldn't know until you felt it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody validate your talent. Man, that's almost better. That's almost better than making a number one hit album. For somebody that's that good to validate you, Man, listen, man. Some people do music and never get validated. I'm talking about they in the industry and they never get validated by people like that. Cause you ain't got no bars, you know what I'm saying? You know, you're a rapper, but you're not an MC. It's a big difference. They didn't know I was an MC. Like, wow, you're MC. I was influenced by New York rappers all my life. Like I said, I had Mobb Deep. I listened to Wu-Tang. I listened to Wu-Tang, everything. You know what I'm saying? I had Wu-Tang albums, more than one. You know what I'm saying? So of course you know I'm on the lyrics. I'm all about the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? So I listened to Wu-Tang, Method Man, Old Dirty Bastard. I had the Tikal album, the Tikal. What's that? If today be smoking. Tikal. Pass it over here. Man, I grew up on that, man. I was a teenager listening to Tikal, Sub Crazy, Biscuits, all of that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? On a 16-inch, 15-inch speaker. 400 watts, banging, man. Equalizer, everything. You know what I'm saying? So I used to do, that was my room as a teenager, man. Booming system, man. You know what I'm saying? Crazy bass. Stupid bass. Stupid bass. I can't even turn it all the way up. That kind of bass. I'm gonna blow the speaker. I can't even turn it all the way up, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Only way I could turn it up if I turn the bass down. Like that. You know. But yeah, man. So you know, man, like that's how cool I was. That's how cool I am now. You know, those networks, those things happened after high school. I actually could say I did better after high school. I went to LA, I went to New York. You know what I'm saying? My music was heard by famous people after high school. So I ain't one of them people that 50 could talk about, dang, homie, in high school you was the man, homie. After high school, I was the man, homie. After high school, I was the man, homie. Yeah, that part. You know what I mean? So that gives you an idea what kind of person I am, man. I say this, I take the time as a Christian. I could easily just shut this down and not talk about this. But I think that people need to know. I think, yeah, like your testimony, where you come from, just like they do now in these days with these Christian people, they'll tell where they came from and everything. I think people need to know that about me. I think before we go any further, I think you need to know. I think you need to know who you playing with, little buddy. Cause we don't care nothing about where you come from. I don't live so many places. I don't live in Los Angeles. I don't live everywhere. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you talk about. If you ain't willing to die for it, you playing with the wrong man. It's that simple. If you want to play sucker games and gay games and all of that diva games, like you think you Beyonce, no disrespect to her when I'm saying this, you know, you think you Beyonce or something, like you some little tranny diva or gay boy diva. Listen, this is not the place to play games. Because what's going to wind up happening, somebody going to want to smoke you. You know what I'm saying? They going to want to smoke you, bro. It don't matter. Because, like, we all got to get our respect out the mud. You know what I'm saying? What a scavenger would do from a secret society is try to use you to come up. And it didn't work. They didn't come up. They fell off. And matter of fact, they fell off bad. Real bad, and I know. I know you fell off. Because you played with a good person. And now they find out, oh, he was listening to Mobb Deep. So I even was heard by somebody that Tupac even knew. Tupac even knew Mobb Deep. So then you do the math on that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you know I'm credible. Then I come back doing these videos. Then you realize I was a prophet. Like, oh man, they fumbled because if a prophet would have got on, who knows what would have happened? I was trying. That's what I'm trying to show you. Well, my whole point was I didn't come, like, besides Charlotte, how I started out with Charlotte. Charlotte don't know how to submit to nobody. I like New York rappers anyway. But even if you didn't, You know, you gotta submit to somebody and show them your phone. Show them what you do. And do it your way when you can. You know, but you gotta submit to somebody else. So, you know, so you ain't talking to somebody that ain't never been heard by famous people. You see what I'm saying? It'd be a little different if it was that situation. You're talking to somebody somebody took the time to listen to me. Somebody took the time to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, so you forced to put me in a different category. You can't put me like some upcoming artist that need to get out there that ain't never been heard by. I'm not one of them people. I'm not the mad rapper either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them cats either. I'm not hating on nobody getting it. I'm not hating on nobody that's successful. And that's including why I'm on the subject of Charlotte. That's including the baby. I ain't hating on his success. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm more bitter towards Charlotte, especially in this season and time. You know what I'm saying? With all that they done, my bitterness is more towards Charlotte than the baby. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I started to like him around 2021 when he was on that song. What's that one song that he was on? I had just started liking him. What song he made? Y'all know the song I'm talking about. Coming like a thief in the night. The hook, it says something about I come like a thief in the night. The baby don't say that line. Somebody else say that line. But y'all know what song I'm talking about. Everybody that listen to music all the time know what song I'm talking about. That's when I was listening to the radio a lot. So then the baby was on that song. You know the song, she don't drink Hennessy, she only like white wine. Y'all know what song I'm talking about. She don't like Hennessy, she only like white wine. Y'all know what song I'm talking about, man. See, that's how you know I'm just listening to stuff in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I ain't, you know, sometimes I don't know the name of the songs, but I just listen to stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he was on one of them songs. He was on that song. That's when I really say, okay, I like this. I like his music. That's when I first started liking his music. You know what I'm saying? So like that's. But I'm, you know, I ain't no hater, man. You know, it's just It's more for me. It's more Charlotte, man. Charlotte played too many games with who didn't know. They didn't really know me enough to play with me like that. I could see if I was all out in the mix. But by the time I was 20, I left home and went to California. I just became a nationwide person really young, right? And most people do that when they get famous. I did it with, I did it on ground level. I just started going out to the streets and everything, everywhere, and I had no problems. I came back in one piece every time. You know, that's what messed people up. They thought I was gonna go out there and die. I never did. You know, so you know, it's really Charlotte, bro. That's my hang up. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it as a flaw. It's because they shouldn't have played with me. That's how I see it. And ignorant people gonna be ignorant people. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I get respect from the likes of Mobb Deep, with Prodigy. With Rest in Peace Prodigy, but with Havoc. I always think about Prodigy when I think about Mobb Deep. You know what I'm saying? Because the voice, everything like that. And I got into Prodigy too. I was listening to Prodigy and everything. So to label me as like some whack little guy or some little dude, like, yo, take another look. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Take another listen, you know? Because once somebody give you respect like that, and these dudes, they listen to dudes for a living. They could hear the whackness. They can hear the whackness, right? Okay, so for me to pass the smell test, that's facts, right? So for me to pass the smell test with like Havoc, yo, listen, that's why it's a problem with the streets. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a problem. That's too much validation, bro. For anybody, for these little lame dudes, man, out here in the streets, these little secret society people, man, they should have stayed in their lane, bro. Ain't nobody scared of it. And then, like, Mobb Deep hate Illuminati through Prodigy. Prodigy hated Illuminati. Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society, trying to keep their eye on me. But I stay incognito in places they can't find me, making my moves strategically. What? Yeah. That man say I stay incognito in places they can't find me, making my moves strategically. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's just like I already knew that from the LL Cool J remix. You know what I'm saying? So you know, so how fitting that I get that kind of respect from somebody who couldn't stand these people. You know what I'm saying? And then I came along and I wound up fighting them and winning. You know what I'm saying? So it's just understanding, bro. you're going to have to fight me like you fight everybody else. That's just it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And it's no other way it's going to happen. You ain't going to ever see me fold down, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Now, by now, you should know that. So, you know, but I can show you where it was love. I can show you where I came into New York and I was getting love. You know what I'm saying? This needs to be said. Prodigy, rest in peace, Prodigy. From Havoc, from Mobb Deep, he heard my music before I came to New York. That was before. I already had love before I came to New York. Forever. Forever. Before I ever even came to New York. I already had love. Right? That's before I even came here. Before I even lived in New York. So you're just trying to see me according to a certain narrative, and we gotta do what we gotta do with people like that, because you're not satisfied until I fit the narrative that you heard. And listen, if that's what you're stuck on, we going to war about it. It's that simple. I don't play with clowns that's in these secret societies that think, oh, well, you want me to fit a certain narrative. You a lame boy and want me to fit a certain narrative. I ain't gonna never be lame. That's why I tell people, I can roll around on the ground and make a complete fool of myself, and I'm gonna get up and still be real. You know why? See, I don't hold to a persona like you. I don't have a persona. That's what ghetto people like. Ghetto people don't have a persona. I don't have a persona. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. If I sound the way I do, I sound the way I do. But if I take care of my business, I take care of you. If I got to. That's ghetto. I mean, you know, if you ever been around ghetto people, we don't say everything perfect anyway. So imagine a secret society of people that I done sized up, coming in, trying to see how a person sound. That's what kind of dudes they are. Trying to see how you sound. I don't care how I sound. You know what I do? I hurt you. I hurt you. That's how I sound. That's what a ghetto person tell you. Oh, who is that person even trying to come around us? I don't care about what you feel. I hurt you. You want to get hurt tonight? You want to get hurt this morning? Do you want to get hurt? You want to get hurt this morning? You want to get hurt this morning? That's all I'm talking about. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And if you, listen, you can go ask NYPD about me, buddy. Ask NYPD. Ask them what kind of guy I am. Weapon charge, weapon charge, weapon charge, weapon charge. Oh, they ain't tell you that? They ain't tell Brooklyn? Man, they played you. They lied to you, bro. Oh, you ain't know that? That's why you think I talk like this, bro? Come on, man. Come on, man. Ain't nobody gonna sound like this and be full of crap, bro. You should know that. How am I be in New York talking like this? A lame gonna be scared of New York. I'm real. I don't care. I go anywhere and they expect me to be real anyway. They ain't gonna respect me unless I stand my ground myself. That's how it is. That's the double-edged sword. If you bow down to everybody, you ain't gonna get no respect. They expect that because they consider themselves. If I'm in a city with people playing with me, of course it's F everybody. Of course. Of course. Of course. You gonna be the same way. If somebody playing with your integrity, you telling me you gonna be bowing down showing love? You crazy. Cause it's New York, so what? You ain't gonna be bowing down showing no love, bro. No, you're not. You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna keep it 100. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna keep it 100, buddy. You're gonna keep it 100 for these lanes that ain't built like this. You don't represent nothing that put fear in my heart. Because I know you yourself can do nothing. I myself can do everything. And I proved that. I proved myself I can do everything. And what can you do as an individual? Before they get to you, I can do everything to you. Keep that in mind. If you one of these little dudes in this building that's with them secret societies, Man, listen, they can't reach you before I do. If I want you, what you gonna do? You feel that's bulletproof? I can do you before they get to you. I got my weapons. I can do you right now. This morning, buddy. Cook you up like an omelet. I can make you out to be an omelet, buddy. Put some diced tomatoes on you. And call it a day. Put some sausages on the side. That's all I'm saying. I don't deal with white boys. I know I smell white boys. When I smell white boys, and you can be black. I smell white boys. Cause you don't move like us, man. I know what I'm talking about. That's white boy stuff. And all I'm asking is this, man. We want you to produce the same numbers that I produce. I done got respect for famous people. You know what I'm saying? All these secret society people doing music in the studio, you ain't getting on. Cause you cursed. That's why. You cursed. That's why you can't come in getting on. You can, you know what I'm saying? Nah, you not with that. You ain't. Why you ain't getting on? Oh, you do music for your friends, don't you? Hey, these secret society people do music for their friends. Oh, I know. You do music for your friends, bruh. Listen, bruh, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. It's too late already for you to act like me and you. It's a one-on-one, mano-a-mano between me and you. You can't wait till I get on and then you trying to see me. Nah, it don't work like that. I beat you before I got to this level. Hold up, y'all heard that? I beat them before I got to this level. Okay, so then I ain't finna let you come play with me because I'm more successful now, and you feel the need to try to fight me again. Nah, I'm not interested. I don't get anything out of it. We already know now you're really nothing. We know secret societies and Freemasons ain't nothing. Ain't nobody. See, I produced a whole new fearless society that's not afraid of you. They know you whack. They know you ain't nothing. They were scared of you this whole time. And then now we see through my life, you know, it was fabricated. Ain't nobody scared of that. I don't care how much you network. We look at the fact that you can be beaten. You can be beaten. You might have said it was always like that, but you projected yourself like you was this, like you was bigger than life, like nobody can do nothing with it. How about you? How y'all feel about that now? You feel like we can't do nothing with it? You feel like we can't do nothing with it? Man, listen, we done dusted that too many times. I done beat them dude too many times, bro. Too many times. I'm no, man. I don't see that no more in 2026. They can stand around and they can say whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? On the psychological stuff. I don't care about that. Y'all see me being a good person, right? Y'all see me as a person that, you know, that got their mind in the right place, right? Okay. So then, and you see me as a normal person, don't you? You see me as a person that came from Charlotte, that did what most Charlotte people can't even do and didn't even do. I mean, look at that too. So you can't even hold Charlotte as more credible than me. Not how? In what way? In what way? I came to New York. I lived up here. I paid bills. Listen, I stimulated the economy up here. I put money out up here. What they do? What Charlotte do? Oh, keep in mind, Charlotte still got child marriage laws to marry children. North Carolina still can marry children. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, go check it. North Carolina is a state that can marry children. Oh, so I know North Carolina ain't talking. Buddy, you still marrying children right now. I'm serious. I'm not fraudulent at all. I told you real stories. I told you real stuff. Yeah. New York gonna feel some type of way. Oh, man. Mobb Deep. That tells you everything you need to know. This is why I told you. Because them lame boys right there don't listen. We ain't got no pictures together. I ain't never say I was Freemasons. I ain't never say I was no Illuminati member. If they told you that, if they say anything about me being a prostitute for Illuminati, you see how retarded that is? Do I look like a prostitute? For them. Do I look like that? Them lame people, them lame boys with that psychology from the 1990s that don't work in the 21st century. People were scared of that stuff in the 1990s, bruh. Ain't nobody scared of that stuff no more. Well, I don't care what it is, whether we live or die, we ain't scared of it. That's what it is. We live like soldiers. We not scared of it either way it go. Some men you can't kill. If you can't make me scared, you can't kill me. You can't kill a fearless man. That makes sense to you? We ain't afraid to die, bro. You can't kill something that ain't afraid to die. You kill people who beg for their life. Then they die. You killed that person. You can't kill me. I ain't begging for my life. I'll look you right in the face. You can't kill me, bro. That's how you live your life, like a real man. A man's supposed to live his life like that, not just a gangster. Because I'm a soldier. A man's supposed to live his life like you ain't afraid to die. You can't live like no real man, scared of these secret societies and scared of Freemasons. You can't live like no real man. You see what I mean? You can't live like a real man like that. I ain't scared of him. And I won. See, the people that's scared of him, you can't get nowhere. You know why you can't get nowhere? Because you're scared. But really, so many bad things done happen, including COVID-19. Ain't nobody scared of you. Scared of a secret society after COVID-19? It don't hit the same, bro. Ain't nobody scared of that stuff, man. We seen people dying in this country. It could have been any of us. And if you got a cold during that time, then you almost thought you had it, didn't you? I remember I got a cold one time because I took a shower and jumped in a taxi, right? By the time I got back out from out there in the air and everything, I felt like a little cold or something coming over me. But it was during COVID time, so I was like, oh man, maybe I got COVID from that taxi. I thought I got COVID from the taxi. All the people in the taxi, it's a good idea, it's a good assumption. During that time when people were still getting it, I was like, oh man, I think I might have got COVID from that taxi because I felt a little funny. Because it didn't hit me till I got back. When I got back, I was like, man, I feel a little funny. But what it was, I took a shower before I went out there. I was pretty much dry, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't dripping wet, but it still kind of got me a little bit. And I had a little cold. But anyway, I went and got my vaccination. After that, I was like, nah. I ain't one of them Christians that feel like the vaccination was the mark of the beast. That's ridiculous. It's you don't see what a lot of people are made of until stuff like this happens. People are like superstitious and all kind of stuff, bro. And that's one thing you got to consider with religious people. It's a lot of religious people that are just very superstitious. I'm not superstitious. So when that hit and I felt like a little cold or something, I was like, let me go get vaccinated. I would have got vaccinated I think if it wasn't the same day, it was the next day. Yeah, I would have got vaccinated. Forget the foolishness. So I'm vaccinated. I ain't one of them people that, I ain't gonna get vaccinated. Nah. They already talking about something gonna come worse than COVID. Eventually, it probably is. See, they started proms, man, and see, I know exactly what type of people they are. You the type of people, bro. You're the type of people that you're party people. You like to drink, you like to smoke, that don't make you no thug. That don't make you able to be out here in this jungle and play with this street stuff. And that's what they did, because and this is why, because the street stuff became so popular in the culture that for most boys, and I do mean boys, they wanted to be part of the streets. It's just too attractive to some people that they gotta emulate that stuff. But the thing that the fine print is, you gotta take what come with it. If you play these politic games where somebody could just kill you for being in their politics. No, hold up, you ain't hear that. Somebody can just kill you for being in their politics, not because you did something to them, because you in their politics. You don't get, people don't get smoked for that all the time. You stupid. You don't know no better. If you out here especially if you out here talking reckless and trying to assassinate somebody's character, if you out here on that, you definitely can die. And that's all. And it's worth enough. It's worth. That's my ghetto moment for the day. It's worth enough, ain't it? It's worth enough. Listen, man, let me tell you something. It's worth enough, ain't it? Let me tell you something, bro. People have killed people for no reason. That's evil. You know what evil is? You don't know what evil is, do you? Man, listen, let me tell you something, man. The world you live in, you look at it like a cartoon. Don't you know that some people get killed for no reason? All the time. They call it an unprovoked killing. That means it was no reason. This person did nothing to them. They didn't even look at them wrong or nothing. They were just a human being that died. So my point is this. If it's people in America dying from unprovoked killings, then that means you can die for any reason. Does that make sense? If you could die for nothing, you can die for something. Which means you can die for anything. You could die for anything, bro, playing in these streets. You came out here talking. You could die for that. You talking under your breath. You could die for that. You talking out in the hallway. You can die for that, dumb nigga. You playing psychological games. You can die for that. And guess what? That includes the women too. Why? You think because you got a vagina you can live? I don't care about you having no vagina. Half of them stink anyway. Half of the vagina stink and can't take no penis anyway. Half these women can't take no penis anyway. They can't. And that includes black women. Half of them can't take no penis. Man, no. They can't. Half of them can't even take no penis. Sitting around here fronting like somebody want that. You know why I want it? Hey, could you fucking knock?
Who is that?
Who the fucking, why does it fucking matter?
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry.
Anyway. these women, half of these women, you see the stuff I go through, man. You see this stuff? Retarded, bruh. Retarded stuff, bruh. I ain't never went to somebody's door and I don't know them. Who does that, bruh? Who does that? If you that, listen, man, I think somebody like you need to stay out the way. Like, almost like a crippled person. Because I don't make them, some people will kill you. Yo, how many times people done died playing around somebody's door? Playing around somebody's door. How many times people done died? You went to the wrong door. You ain't hear them kind of killings yet? Lately, you went to the wrong door. And you got smoked. People done got smoked going to the wrong door, bro. I don't have to listen, bro. Let me tell you something. I'm past the age of having to prove anything to anybody. All the information I shared with you tells you enough. Like I said, I can roll around on this floor and I'm not going to be fake. You know why? Because when I get back up, I got my results. I got my numbers. I got my life, my history. So I don't worry about being real anymore. By persona. Like if I say the wrong thing, I move I don't care about that. That's being real, grown and real. And ghetto, quite frankly, well, I don't care what I say. I go by what I do. I don't care about how I behave. I care about what I will do. Listen, man. Some of y'all are in cartoon world. You shouldn't have came out here playing in the streets for fun. In the case that you do, you owe money. That's how the streets work. That's just how it is. That's not extortion. Extortion is a whole different ball game. That's not extortion. If the police told you that was extortion, no, that's not. If you, in fact, it's just an informal or unorthodox way of justice, even when they themselves involve themselves in my situation, right? And they know they couldn't prove anything. That's money. I mean, whether we do it on an informal level, because you challenged me on an informal level, right? So then, street justice, right? Okay, so when street justice goes wrong, you owe money in the streets. Makes sense? We already act like it's the courts of the streets, right? Like the courthouse in the streets. Okay, it's the courthouse in the streets. Okay, so with that being said, you owe me back. You owe me a bag on the streets, in the courthouse in the streets. And see, that's where the problem comes in. That's what it is. And we can sit here and listen. You can sit here and be halfway entertained, halfway jocking me, and you don't think I know that. Or you could take me seriously and realize I'm telling these stories, man, so that people can see my life is real. That I got real stories. I got real information. I got real history right here in New York. You ain't never see me around here on eggshells in New York. You know what I'm saying? I'm just moving like this because I'm a full-time soldier. That's what it is. Take it seriously. You don't got to. I'll take advantage of it as a soldier. Because in the world of warfare, deception is the foundation. So if you deceive yourself, hey, knock yourself out, buddy. If you think I'm fake, or you think I'm something to play with, or you doing stuff like that on purpose, like, see, really that was on purpose. I'm just smart enough to know that. It's on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And see, I'm smart enough to where I can respond because I know you're doing it on purpose. You see what I'm saying? And then, but I'm the jerk if I do. I'm the one that's crazy. But you're doing stuff on purpose. But I'm crazy. Okay. See, it's depending on who you talk to, like I like to say. It's depending on who you talk to. Because they going to see you as crazy as doing stuff on purpose. Especially with a man that ain't playing no games. A man, listen, it ain't a matter of me being so tough. It's a matter of Look at all he been through. Do you think he gonna play game? Do you think he playing games with you? That's what I would be looking at. I'm looking at all the stuff this dude done been through. Nah, I don't think he playing. I don't think he. See, this is how I survive, man. Real ones survive like this, man. I don't know nobody that's real that just come out and try everybody and think they can try everybody and think they don't owe no respect and think they can just do what they want to do. I don't know people like that. We all take precaution. But it's called self-respect first. That you pride yourself on showing people respect. You know, showing common respect. That's something that's in my value system. If you're a street person, in your value system, you got, okay, I'm gonna show people respect. Long as it's love, long as they ain't in my lane, I'm gonna just show everybody common respect, right? I ain't gonna just come through just violating, disrespecting people for no reason. For no reason, right? And you pride yourself on that. That's not scared. That's not being scared. But you pride yourself on, oh, did I respect that person? Did I show you go back, oh, did I respect that person? Yeah, I did. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But you evaluate situations. Okay, did I show respect to them people? Did they violate me or did I violate them? Who said what? Who was right or who was wrong? You go back and evaluate things, right? Right. Because you pride yourself on showing people respect when they should have it, right? So we take precaution. We don't just come out here just violating people. They think, those kind of people think that makes them tough, but they won't live long. That's what I'm saying. You know you won't. That's why you got stopped with me. It always happens. Because it's no way in the world you're going to come out here. I don't care what group it is. Because see, this time God is on my side as far as this violation in the streets. God is with this violation. God is looking into the violation, bro. And that's that, man. Because, like, I know people like that is basically summed up with thinking they're evil. I don't care about evil. To me, evil is an attitude. That's all it is. We all killers. Right? You even find sometimes people will kill, the most timid man will kill about a woman. A woman. My philosophy is the most timid man in the world will kill about his woman. Yeah. My point is anybody can be pushed to kill. So evil, when we all will kill, is just an attitude. That's all it is. We'll do the same thing, whatever you insinuate, I'll do it to you. The only difference is I don't have a certain attitude about it. But I'll crush you just like you think you'll crush me. I'll crush you if I can. I just don't have the same attitude about it. That's the difference. So to me, with that being said, evil is just an attitude. I can humiliate you. I can make you suffer. I can make, as I proved, I can make your community suffer. We can see old ladies missing for 3 weeks. We can be cruel. We can show you what cruelty is. We can make you feel what you're trying to make me feel. We better at it. God's kingdom is better at this. We'll show you cruelty you never dreamed of. But I don't have an attitude of evil. But I crush you, I humiliate you, I drag you through mud. Right? No attitude of evil. That's a soldier. A soldier can go to war in another country and just completely wipe out people. But is he evil? No. He's just a tough guy. Jumping through woods, bucking people down, everything. But do he got an evil attitude? No, but he's crushing people. He's making you suffer. He can torture you and everything just like you want to do. And he's better at it, right? I'm better at it. Now you're suffering. You're tortured with the truth. The truth is torturing you. Oh yeah, the truth is torturing you. Now you realize, oh, I think he realer than us. Oh yeah, and guess what? I've been known by famous people. Have you? You haven't, have you? See, that's the difference, man. Now put all that stuff together, what they talking about. It don't fit into my story, do it. It don't fit into my lane, do it. That's all I'm saying, bro. Keep in mind, I got a 19-year-old son. Now imagine me being treated like a punk. And my son is 19 years old. My son, out of my nuts. Not trying to be graphic, but my son. You know what I'm saying? Imagine me being played with like I'm a child and my son is not even a child. So then that's when you become a person that demands your respect. I gotta have mine. You know what I'm saying? Now if you're a little punk that ain't put no kids in the world, that's you. You wouldn't understand. Once you have a grown son or daughter, imagine you letting somebody play with you. Only a parent is going to understand, bruh. That's why we be clashing out here in the streets with each other. Because ain't nobody taking nothing off of nobody. If I'm a grown man with a child, my son is grown, imagine me being played with like a child. And you wouldn't understand if you ain't had no children. I took care of my son. I sent money to my son. My wife, my ex-wife, that's right, married for real. And I divorced her. Listen, I've been a married man. You understand me? That's what I'm saying. Even that, man, in itself, it demands respect. That's all this is about now. All this is about, for me, is respect. I don't care about the police. I'll tell the police I got a grown son. Like you don't mean nothing to me. I don't bow down to police. What that mean to me? I'm not a 12-year-old child. I'm a grown man. I got a son that's 19 years old. Imagine me bound down to police for what? We're not children, man. We not scared. Only children thinking, ooh, they go to police. Is a grown man worried about the police that ain't doing no crimes? That's what I'm saying. It comes a point where you live as a man and you're willing to die as a man. That's it, man. You know, it ain't nothing else to talk. No, it ain't. Because see, we all are men. We're all men and women. Not all of us. You know what I mean? So if you ain't willing to die for it, and you're just willing to sound sirens out there and play games, listen, bro, you are another one. You playing the wrong game with a grown man. That's that. I can go as long as you want to go. Ask my Hey man, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something, man. I can go as long as you want to go. Ask my last wife. I can go as long as you want to go. Ask my last wife. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. We do not fear police as black men anyway. When the last time I've been arrested, oh yeah, that's where I was at right there. Ask NYPD about me. I got weapon charge. What part of that you don't understand? So if you go ask NYPD to look up what they got me for, you're going to see weapon charge after weapon charge after weapon charge. And how is that ever petty? Whether it's on a misdemeanor level, a ticket, or a felony. How is it ever petty by principle that I got a weapon that can kill you? How is that petty? Explain intelligently how it's petty when on principle I have a weapon that can kill you. Explain the petty part. I'm trying to figure out the petty part. Where's the petty part in that? Me having a weapon that can kill you, where's the petty part? I'm trying to figure it out. This is for people that's so smart they stupid, bro. You so smart you stupid. Where's the petty part? There is no petty part, buddy. Listen, ask the NYPD how many times I've been locked up for weapons. Just weapons. No, not assaulting nobody, not peeing in public, doo-doo, defecating in public. Like some of these other people, some of these New Yorkers, you getting charges for defecating. You going to jail for defecating in public, ain't you? Yo, ain't even wiped your butt, and you and listen, man, funky. Listen, man, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. You getting locked up for defecation in public. I'm talking about weapon charges. Weapon charges. And the last time I had a weapon, I ran from the police and got away. Oh yeah, I get away sometimes because I'm not a stupid person. I could have had another weapon charge. I didn't get it because I ran. I in the words of Eazy-E, I ran, I ducked, and I ran, I dashed. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I threw my weapons across the street. And then when I came back up the block, the police didn't even say nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? And they see me with a tablet in my hand. He got confused. He probably got confused and thought that's probably what he seen. Stupid cop. He seen it on me. But then when I came up the block, I pulled out the tablet. And he got confused like that's probably what he saw. But I had the tablet out in the first place when you saw that. Right? I just threw it off of me though. I just threw it off of me and then I came back up the block. I threw it on the opposite side of the street. So I'm just trying to understand where you getting your information from, bro. Cause I want you to go talk to NYPD that I'm not afraid of. When I done been arrested on a weapon charge, that's consistent. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad to say I haven't been arrested in quite some time. You know, and I'm glad about that. I'm proud of that. I'm not proud of criminal things these days, but I do need people to understand what type of soldier I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to imply this and insinuate this and project this in my war, in spiritual war. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to still get you. I'm going to just do it the right way. And so just in case you thought you was dealing with a punk that's just talking and ain't nothing going to happen. No, the same kind of person that get locked up for weapon charges, I'm going to get you. Right? But I'm going to get you the right way. I'm going to get you God's way. I'm over religious people. It's wartime. It's wartime, buddy. And I don't care about what they think. I know it all makes sense. I know it all makes sense what I'm talking about, buddy. And you know it do too, don't you? Let me tell you something. Buddy. I don't carry weapons for fashion. I don't carry weapons to try to be cool. I done lived on the streets, homeless on the streets. A homeless man gonna be deaf. Listen, the right young homeless man is not taking no games off of nobody. I can't take a chance. See, once you done been homeless for a certain amount of time, I'm not taking no chance of somebody putting pressure on me and playing with me. So you don't want to trigger me, man. I'm not that. Listen, I've been on the streets. I'm a street person. I'm no longer a person like that's in these buildings and facilities like that where they can go knock on the wrong doors for fun and think it's a game, bro. I'm like yo. I'm not them type of people no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little more wild now. You know what I'm saying? I'm keep it real. But I'm a Christian. I'm a good man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a little more wild, man. When it comes to this war, bro, I don't play no games. No, I know that about myself. That's why I stay to myself. You know what I'm saying? Because the more you intermingle with people, that's when stuff happens. When violations happen, people think they can play in your face and play with you. Then you got to wind up checking them. You know what I'm saying? Right there. You just trying to be cool, trying to be out here. You wind up checking somebody, man. That's the truth. That's the truth. I done checked people up and down Utica already. Just in case you think I'm tripping. Just in case you think it's limited to this building. I want you to go ask and see if you can find. Ask people how I was out here on Utica Avenue. You know what I'm saying? When I first came out here. First came out here, not 3 months later, 2 months. Within the first month, ask them how I check somebody. Then the second month, I check somebody. That's all I'm saying. I don't do it for fun, man. Listen. I do it not unlike you. I don't do stuff like that for fun. I demand my respect, bruh, and I don't think you understand that. I don't think you getting it. I get my respect. I don't care who it is. I'm too grown to care who it is. Does that make sense? I'm too grown to care about this staff in this building. So what? I don't care about them. Who they ain't nobody to me. They here, and if anything, they in service to me. It's one of, yeah, you in service to me. That part. Imagine me feeling some type of, you in service to me, buddy. I'm the one to give you a paycheck. You wouldn't even have a paycheck without me. So imagine you see what I'm saying? That's exactly how I look at it. I give you a paycheck, bro. And guess what? I can endanger your paycheck too. Play with me. All I'm gonna do is follow the chain of command if you make mistakes. That's for future reference. That ain't snitching. That's me on my grown man thing. That's me on my grown man thing. If you play with me in this building and you staff, all I'm gonna do is follow the chain of command till I find somebody that's gonna check you. Oh, you probably got Hasa in your back pocket, right? I'm gonna just go right above Hasa from the very beginning. I ain't going to talk to them suckers and down there in Hasa. I'm gonna go over Hasa's head. You don't want no problems with me, bro. You don't want no problem. That's so you know. I think just like listen. One thing I learned from white people is the chain of command. Follow the chain of command. Go to corporate, whatever corporate is, and you voice your grievances. You voice your grievances. You don't sit up and go back and forth with no ignorant people when you can have their job. I can have your job, buddy. I can take it. I can take your job, buddy. You in service to me. Act like you know that. That's how you nip that in the bud. Just in case you thought I was just some ghetto person that's gonna go back and forth. No, I'm a Gemini. A Gemini is listen. I'm gonna go listen. A Gemini got a balance. Oh, I can talk these streets and I can tighten up and go call corporate. I can talk this street stuff and tell you all about my history in the street, and then I can go get on the phone and call corporate too, buddy. And have your job if you play with me. That's right. That's me being a grown man. I'm not the same 16-year-old kid I used to be. I'm 44 years old. I ain't playing with no children or those who act like children. Listen, I go to the chain of command. I go to corporate. I get on this jack. I get on my jack called corporate. Listen, yo, people tripping, that, this, that, and the third. Woo, woo, woo. I guarantee you they're going to be on it. And if they don't respond, I'm going to go above their head. And see, it's a whole chain of command. All you got to do is follow it. As soon as you talk to that person, you get the chain of command over them. That's the first. If you don't know what to do, whoever you even talking to, when you talk to them, the first thing you establish, who is your superior? Who is your boss? Who can I complain to about this department? Well, you can call this number. Okay, well, let me get that number. Now you proceed forward and letting them know you ain't playing no games, right? Okay, and you let your grievance known there. If nothing comes out of that, you call that number they gave you, and then you tell them the same thing. If I have a problem with this department, what's the number? Well, this is number, and you keep doing that, buddy, until we take care. And then by the time it's way up there like that, and I can't way up that far. Listen, man, they gonna rain hell on whoever it is in this building. If I have to go that far, by the time I make it to that person, they gonna look at all of that. Why did he have to come all the way up here to me? They gonna listen, off the strength of that, they gonna take your job. And listen, I don't try to do that, but listen, I am not gonna be involved in nigga politics. I just want you to know, if you play with me, I don't care if you're a janitor, I don't care if you are whatever you're supposed to be in this building. If you play in my lane, I will have your job. I promise you that. That's a boss man. That's not a snitch. A snitch is telling on drug dealers that sell cocaine, right? That's a boss man. I hold you to be professional. Even if you're an enemy, I'ma still follow the chain of command if you don't know how to play chess. See, that's where we get the best right there. If you are enemy on purpose, I'ma still, like with any game, I'ma still hold you to rules and regulations. And I'm going to tax you on rules and regulations. If you don't know how to be a good enemy, I'm going to tax you on rules and regulations, sucker. I could have got people arrested in this building if I was a snitch. I got it on video right here where a dude made a threat, communicated a threat. I got it on video. Now, if I was a rat, one of them funky kind of, you know what type I'm talking about, I could have went and still got him arrested. Because I got it on video. Like I'm doing this video, that's the person trying to come in the room when I was like this. That's how I recorded it. I ain't trying to record it. I was already recording, like talking on the video like this. And the dude was at the door. Now, if I was a bona fide rat, when the police came, I could have showed them where he communicated the threat on the video. Oh, people look for stuff like cops are used to dealing with stuff like that. Because stuff pop off when people be recording and stuff like that these days. And so they can go back and show the cops, yeah, this is what happened. This is when he said this, da, da, da. I could have did that here in this building. I could have got that person arrested. He communicated threats, and I'm the threat. Now, that's a person that ain't no rat. A rat gonna take full advantage of anything you say. They good with the police. That part, they good with the police. They good with figuring out how to arrest you. Oh yeah. They good with understanding how to arrest you, bro. A rat, a real one? Oh yeah. You can't do nothing wrong with them. You communicate a threat. Oh, he communicated a threat. And don't have it on video like I do. I could have been got them arrested. I could have been got that dude who came through the door. I could have got him arrested. But the truth is, I'm more 100 than he is, man. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel the need to. I feel like I made my point. You know what I'm saying? I made my point clear. You know what I'm saying? But I could have got that person arrested, bro. You know what I'm saying? I could have. You know what I'm saying? But see, that tells you something about me. And I'm like I said, I got on video everything. You can't say you ain't said it. And that could have sent me into a rage. I'm the one with the weapon. You know what I'm saying? I could have went into a rage as soon as you said that, bro. That's all I'm saying. But it's an empty threat when you ain't got no weapons, right? Them type of dudes. Sitting up talking about what you would do to somebody and you ain't even got no weapon on you. I can't stand people like that. Nah, I ain't that way. I keep it actual and factual. You know what I'm saying? Some people be so used to playing in an imaginary world. You know what I'm saying? These little secret society people talking about you will kill somebody. This is what he said, yeah. But then he ain't got no weapon on you. And I'm the one I could have went into a rage and killed you. I could have just snapped when you said that and charged you. You wouldn't have been able to do nothing. I promise you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have been able to do nothing about that. You don't play with people like me, man. That's all I'm saying. And I don't. And see, here's where I meet people halfway. I don't play with other people. I don't play with other people. You can't say I do the same thing. See, some people hear how I talk and they think I'm a bully. I hate bullies. I ain't never been a bully a day in my life. Nope. Perfect? No. But a bully, I have not been. Because there's always a reason for most of the stuff. You know, but I leave room for imperfections. You know what I'm saying? But unlike these other people, unlike these Americans, I leave room for imperfections. With any person, okay? With any person. I'm going to leave room for imperfections. But look at our enemies. They don't leave no room for imperfection, do they? No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Where's the room they leave for imperfection? That's all I'm saying, little suckers. Little suckers. Sound like fried chicken. Look, 5-piece, don't it? That's a 5-piece suckers. Little suckers. Got a box of little suckers. Hey man, look, listen man, I be tripping man. Like I be listen. That's how you know I don't stick to no persona. I just be me. I'm myself. Like how Biggie was doing the bunny hop when they say Biggie used to do the bunny hop. Everybody know the story. Biggie fans know what I'm talking about, the bunny hop. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just they self, man. They just funny, got funny character, man. But don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it for granted. I mean, most ghetto people, we gonna have a great sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? It's the suburban strange people. Them type. Most ghetto people gonna have a great sense of humor. I ain't never met no ghetto person that ain't got no great sense of humor. Can't find humor and stuff. Bounce off of you with humor. It's the strange people that think they hold these personas. We can shred through the personas. So you thought I was one of them. But I was raised basically ghetto. By the time we left the ghetto, I was a grown man. Then I left my mom's house when I was 18. You do the math. Okay, so at the time where I was in the suburbs consistently, I left my mom's house when I was 18. Went to LA when I was 20. So when was I in the suburbs? Left the hood when I was 17. Left my mom's house when I was 18. Wasn't even 2 years in I left. See that part? So I really wasn't consistently with the whole suburban life. I never consistently got into it like other people did. Like my brother, he was halfway raised in the suburbs. I wasn't. By the time we came to the suburbs, I was 17 years old. Then I left when I was 18. Do the math, bro. That's why I'm like this. Because my mentality was preserved basically from those times when we lived in those other neighborhoods. And then I just became a spiritual person. So I went back to the suburbs, but I never got the mentality, if that makes sense. I never settled in enough. I came in, sought God. I was spending time with God when I went back. So I was a spiritual person. I was focused on that. I wasn't focused on no suburban living, you know what I'm saying, necessarily. But so I never got into that mentality. So some people do. They change, and they lose their morals. They lose their ghetto principles. They lose their soul survivor. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They lose their ghetto survival principles. And some people don't. So that's the difference between me and my brother. And me and these Freemasons, they halfway suburban. You know what I'm saying? You see, now you understand why we hold certain principles, because through certain situations, you learn survival principles. You learn street intuition that you can use in any situation. Not just in the streets, you can use it anywhere. In this building, I can use street intuition. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So, don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't really got a lot to lose. And I don't care if you the staff. I don't care if you the people that live here or whatever. I ain't going to be intimidated by none of that if I got to check you. If I know you wrong and I got to check you, right? I ain't going to be, I promise you I ain't going to be intimidated by none of that. That's all I'm saying, because to me it's rinky-dink anyway. This ain't nothing. This is trash anyway. I can give you a million reasons why it is. The first main one is the fact that microwave ain't fixed, and all you got to do is call HRA and have it fixed. That's trifling to me. That's trifling. That's what I call that. I shouldn't have to go way downstairs and you get paid. You see what I'm saying? This building is getting paid off of people. It's getting paid off of me. Pretty sure you are. Okay, so then I listen, I make you a paycheck, then I expect premium service. Get the microwave fixed. I give you a paycheck. That's right. That's what an American gonna tell you. If it wasn't for me, listen, I make you a paycheck. Let's not forget. I can voice my grievances to the right people. Even about that microwave. Oh yeah, I could. I could go over Hassel and say, well, they ain't even getting the microwaves fixed. They're going to say, well, all these microwaves, all they had to do was ask. They're going to see why you didn't do that. And they're going to come in and see all these floors and say, why wouldn't they just ask? It's not going to bother them. I had one of these people here tell me it was a hassle. A hassle for who? First of all, you a worker. How is it a hassle for you? I checked him right on the spot. A hassle for you? A hassle for who? That's what I asked. It's not a hassle for you. You ain't got to do nothing. That's what I'm. You see how trifling that is? You have to do nothing. How is it a hassle for you? I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to relate. I'm trying to relate, bro. How is it a hassle? How is it a hassle for you? You don't have to install the microwave. You probably won't be the one to take it out. You won't be the one to put the new one in and take the old one downstairs. You won't do none of that. And you probably won't be the one to make the email to get the microwave. So where's the hassle for you? That's what I'm saying. Suckers opening their mouth, man. Like, man, won't you shut up, man? You know what I'm saying? Won't you shut up? They probably would have took it more seriously if you wouldn't talking about, but that's a hassle. Hassle for who, bruh? You're a worker. Get over yourself. You're a worker. Get over yourself. You wouldn't have been doing nothing to make that happen. Nothing. You wouldn't have brought it here. You ain't gonna go get it. They ain't gonna tell you to go get it. So where's the hassle for you? Man, you tripping, bro. That's what I'm saying. Now, you tell me that ain't a lane to me? It is to me. I wouldn't have said nothing. I wouldn't have opened my mouth at all. Talking about it's a hassle. Hassle for who? That's the word he used. Hassle. How is it a hassle? And it's a good enough hassle for anybody. I need a microwave. It's worth the hassle. I should have told you that. That's why I don't take people seriously now. But you see why though? And besides that, listen, I give a person enough rope to hang themselves, bro. They gonna do it every time. I give people, but they think they us. That's what I'm tripping off of. You think you the streets. You ain't the streets. You ain't none of that stuff. You ain't nothing. You ain't the street. You don't represent black right. If you are black, you don't represent it right. That part, where people don't even represent black right. You're supposed to show black excellence. You don't even do that. You can't even talk about black excellence. Talk about, yeah, this is how a grown man check it. You don't represent black excellence. So we don't want to hear nothing about you talking about black and this black. You man, listen, bro. Come on, bro. Listen, I represent it better than you. You don't think so, but I do. Listen, man, we all got problems with other black people. You too out of touch to realize it. Sucker. You too out of touch. You one of them Bill Cosby kids that think anybody got a problem with black people or sell out. No, we not. We all got problem. A lot of us got problem with other niggas. And that's the real world we live in. Niggas in our own family. You in the last days, sucker. What world you think you live in? You in 2026 when niggas got problem with niggas in their family. Let alone the streets and let alone these buildings. But you too out of touch to understand, aren't you? Well, that's what it looks like. Looks like you too out of touch to understand that niggas got problem with other niggas these days. What you think we in the 1952, 52, summer 22. You think we in summer 52? We in summer 52. We in winter 52, ain't we? You thought you was in winter 52, didn't you? Well, that blizzard is like winter 52 out there. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something, bro. Y'all out of touch. And then you come out here putting your mouth on people that realize that got their ear to the streets and their eyes on the streets. You know what I'm saying? They get respect with the street. The balance is the respect I get. That part. That part. Oh yeah, go check that part. Now if I wasn't getting no respect and then I was voicing my opinion and saying what I was saying, but I wasn't getting I'm getting my respect. Oh yeah. From coast to coast, I'm getting mine. And you'll never know what's gonna happen when you play with me.